I'm Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company. Welcome to session 7 of Home is Where the Haunt Is. This week it's the house block, and I have been waiting for this block the whole time. This is one of those blocks that, I mean, my gosh, I didn't even know if I could do it. It looks so difficult, but all it is iron-on, and it's so easy. So this is the block we're talking about right here. And the first thing we're going to do is cut our background piece. So you're going to want to open your pattern and go to part 7. The background piece is whatever you want it to be. I have some where it's dark night sky. I have some where it's light. I love this darling background fabric that's spider webs. It's just as cute as it can be. And you're going to cut that background piece 7 by 11. So it's going to be, I'm sorry, it's going to be 11 inches wide by 17. I said 7, I meant 17. And that's going to be the block that you set your house on. You also need to cut a filler block, and that filler block is going to be 4 by 11. I just had to look and make sure because I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sew those two pieces together, and then we can start on our house. So let's go to the sewing machine and sew these two together. So let's see, here we go. There we are. And we're just going to sew a 1/4 inch seam right down these two. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to iron this to the lower part because our house is all going to be it's going to all be glued and sewn on the top part, so I don't want this seam to interfere with that. So I'm going to iron it to the lower part, and I'm going to make sure there are no folds or creases in here. All right, now my background is ready for my house. So here comes the fun part. So this is your house. Right here is the one that you get in your pattern, and these little dots you match up. If you have a pattern that's ever split and it has dots on it, those are when you want to match them up. And now you'll notice that this house is all, you know, on one page, but you can't trace this just like this. You have to trace the outside of the house, then you're going to move your paper over and you're going to trace the door separately, the bottom piece separately, the windows separately. Everything has to be traced separately and not laid on top of each other. So I'm going to show you how I do that real quick like. So right here, I think you ought to be able to see through here, and you see I've got my door right here, and if I want to trace the door, I'm not going to trace it inside the house piece. It's going to be a separate part. So I'm just going to take my pen, and right down here where it has dashed lines, those lines are set up for placement. And so you go ahead and draw the dashed lines in, and you know that when you place this right here, see these dashes? This is going to be just below the edge of this piece right here, which is also going to be traced separately. So what I do is I take my piece of paper and I start with my biggest piece. So I'll trace my house, then I'll turn it up here and catch a corner, use a corner of it to catch the roof, and I'll catch the moon, and you trace all those. Then you're going to roughly cut them out. Not careful, because we only want to cut them out carefully once. So we're just going to kind of roughly cut this out like this. And then we're going to iron this onto our paper. Now remember, with heat and bond, on the rough side is the part that gets ironed to the fabric, and you want to iron it on the back. And we don't want it ironed on the front. So I have my pieces here are all cut out. Are all traced. I have left some to cut out. And I actually write on the back of my pieces what they are, so I know what they are. And I wanted to show you some of the fun and creative things that have happened while people have been making these blocks. So these two windows right here, this is out of the middle of a piece of fabric that had a little star and a little spider on it, and I traced my windows and ironed it on so that I could have a little spider in my window. This one right here is fun because I had some white fabric and we fussy cut, so a little spider is there, a little ghost is there. Even she fussy cut, this is my little granddaughter Katie who did this, she fussy cut this little kitty, and so she has a little black cat sitting on her stoop right here, and I just think that's adorable. Also notice this door right here is cut so that there's the essence of a ghost in the doorway. So that is a lot of fun. So use your imagination, have fun with your fabric, and we're going to go ahead and trace all of our pieces and cut them out. So I'm going to cut these out. This little piece right here is my chimney. And when you're ready to cut out, you cut out right on your drawn line. So you don't need to leave your 1/4 of an inch or anything like that. You're cutting right on the drawn line. Just like that. And I'm kind of a shaky drawer, so I like to straighten up my lines that way. So here's my house piece right here. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Some of these things, you know, you just want to see somebody do it so you can figure out how this is all going to work. There we go. And you'll notice that the bottom of your house is at an angle. That's so the house sits a little crookedy, so it looks like a scary haunted house. All right, so here's my house, and it's going to sit up here like this. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and peel this paper off. The paper, it really helps your stuff to lay flat if you peel off your paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this on here, and as I get everything done and together, then I'm just going to very carefully slide it to my ironing board with everything on there. So if you wanted to, you could take it and set it up on your ironing board. So this is the porch roof right here that I've got in my hand. And you're going to want to trim out all these pieces. And it's, let's see, is that kind of at an angle? A little bit of an angle on that porch roof. I have loved seeing all the different colors and all the ways, you know, people interpret this. It's just made for a really fun thing. This was a fun piece right here because this makes, it looks like this flaming yellow moon right here. But look at this fabric. It was a sunflower. But because I only used a little piece of it, it looks like a shadowy moon. So take a look at your fabric. Don't limit yourself to just Halloween fabric. We're going to go ahead and place this moon up here. Oh, I've got to get the roof on my house. There we go. Here's my roof. And I've got a little door here. I've got, oh, this is my chimney top. Kind of liking a green chimney these days. Just adds a little pop of color to it. And this chimney goes this way, I believe. Like that. I've got some pumpkins down here. Like this and this. I think I will do these so that, and you know, it gives you a layout guide, but that's just what it is a guide, you know, so you don't have to do everything just like they say. You can do it as a guide. I've got my windows. Let me get the back off of these. Right here. And I'm just doing mine so it's all kind of on there wonky. You want to watch to make sure that you leave your 1/4 inch seam open because this is also the week that we get to sew all of our pieces together, and you want to watch that. So now I'm going to carefully, I'm going to move this stuff because I don't want to run into it, and I'm just going to carefully slide this over to my iron like this. I'm going to re-look at it, make sure I have everything on there I need and it's all in the right places. I'm going to slide my chimney under the edge. My moon's in the sky. My windows are kind of cockeyed, which I want. My stoop is there. The door's under the edge of the stoop. I have 2 pumpkins there. Oh, I do need a couple little pieces for a trunk. Let's see. Oh, here's some green. So I actually have this little green right here. This was from my chimney piece, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut kind of a triangle-y, and this is for my little the little stems on the tops of the pumpkins. So I'm going to just cut it as a triangle like that, and then I'll lay it over here on top of my pumpkin. And I'll do that on this fat one. And then on this top one, I think I'll do a little bit skinnier. Wait, I thought I had a piece. All right, here we go. I'm just going to kind of curve this one out. Give him a long stem with a curve. And see, it's as easy as that. And then we'll just peel him back. And I always look on him to see if, like, maybe he's going to be too tall. He's going to be a little too tall. Clip it off. Lay it over the top. And then I think I'm ready to iron. All right, so let's go ahead and press this down. And you want to press, not slide your iron. You're pressing down to hold everything in place. Once you get it adhered, then you can slide your iron back and forth, but at this point you don't want anything to move. And I love this iron on. It just makes such a cute house so fast. All right, so now I'm just can rub my iron over it like this because it's all pressed on nice and tight. So then you get a house that looks like this. I just want to show you. How cute is that? I've used my own imagination, used the colors that I needed to blend with my block, and then you just put it together. So in your book, you have a diagram right here of how everything is supposed to go together. Or in your pattern, it's this one right here. And this will tell you how everything is supposed to go together. And if you've missed a filler block or something like that, you can go back to that because these are all separated into the sessions. You know, this is session 1, 2, just like that. So they're separated in those. You can go back and look into that part and see what size you missed if you missed a filler block. But I sewed some of mine together this week and it was so much fun. I can't wait to show you. So here's one. Now, the reason I have so many of these is because I have to do one for a class, I do one to film, I do parts of one, and my granddaughter is working on one also. So I have 4 of these going, and I just want to show you. So here's one. All the pieces are together. I've done my little house over here. You can see the house, and of course on all of this, I've done the blanket stitch on the sewing machine and sewed around my ironed on pieces to keep them nice and tight. I've got my mummy together. I've got, I've got Mind Your Mummy over here, but I have to still embroider my little spider web on here and put my spider on here. So I have a little bit more to do on this one. But on this house also, I fussy cut a ghost and a bat on the windows, and I even fussy cut a little web to put out here and made a little web on the door. Now the next one I'm going to show you, I put together. This is a lot of fun too. This one, I want you to take a look at my house on this one and look at that door. A skeleton is right there ready to greet you. So what you want to do this week is you want to put all your parts together like this. You're going to add a border to it and put your border on. Then you're going to quilt it. And once it's quilted, in our next session, we'll add all those little pieces, all of the flowers and the broom and the sign and the whatever these are right here. No, those little, my brain. Yo-yos, that's what they are. Thank you, Annie. The little yo-yos. I hate this middle-aged brain. Anyway, we're going to add all those, and that will be our last session. So get it all together, get it quilted, and we'll see you here next time for all the finishing touches. And thank you for joining us for part 7 of Home is Where the Haunt Is.